United Women in Faith legislative priorities, we have 4 new ones, and then we have 11 that are up for readoption. The 4 new ones are observing the child Sabbath, which is an observance every third Sunday in October. So we're asking the church to put that on the calendar, our program calendar, for all of the special Sundays. And this one is not one that would require a special offering, but an observance that this is important, that our children need to always be lifted up in the church. The other one is the girl child. And that one's really important because girls around the world are still being marginalized, limited with access to education, limited by health and well-being, limited to access to resources and things that will help them thrive to be the best that they can possibly be. And they also are facing still things that hurt their bodies in terms of exploitation, early marriages, and child mutilation. And so this particular legislation addresses the well-being of girls around the world. Another one is the status of women. Again, women still, we've made great progress, but we still have a long way to go. And women still are limited to economic equality in terms of equitable pay, in terms of environments in which they live and work, and also here in the church, So it's important that we continue to uplift women and their opportunities in leadership, in decision making. And so it's really important for us to make that a part of what we're bringing to General Conference. And then the last one is the Voting Rights Act. As many of you that are hearing this will know, that there have been changes really since the Supreme Court decision in 2013 to shift and to limit the access to voting, particularly the Voting Rights Act of 1965. And so this is an opportunity for the church to stand up and say, we need to not do some of the things that are happening, not only in the U.S., but across different states, to limit people's access to voting by redistricting or changing lines just to benefit a particular group of people versus everybody having equal access. So it speaks to that. And then the 11 readoptions, pretty much, if I had to categorize them, would be around inclusiveness, continuing to, again, think about greed and privatization, limits of things that relate to that. Also, continuing our racial justice work, so things that relate to, of course, our Charter for Racial Justice and this global impact is one of those up for readoption, so really want support for that. So for racial justice, our Charter for Racial Justice is up for readoption. Speaking out with compassion against hate, because that's a big issue in our context here in the United States, and also stopping the criminalization of communities of color. And then another area is around protection of our climate and our environment. So there are different legislative items related to that. So in terms of the protecting the environment and climate, related to law of the sea, and one related to extractions. So that pretty much shapes up our priorities, and we're excited, and we really want our delegates to be clear about those things, and it just reflects who we are and our continued reinforcement of our values.